Ashe. Welcome to Bobby Yeager Tarot. This is the title, The General and the King and the Stolen Roots of the Akasha Records. Introduction to the Universal Database. Tonight we're looking at the mother of all information, the Akasha Records. Many people think this is just a new age, but this is an ancient foundation of every religion you know, from the Hindus, the Akasha, to the Egyptian Hall of Records, to the Christian Book of Life. It is from the same cosmic database. Tonight, we're exposing how this knowledge that was handled and why the prodigal son is the key to all of this. The prodigal son, the Akasha journey. The story of the prodigal son isn't just about a kid who was left home. It was a manual of the soul's descent into the 3D matrix. He who left the soul's frequency, the father, entered the lower vibration. When he said to come to his senses, that is a code for reascending his Akasha record. He realized his inheritance wasn't money, it was his astrological and spiritual blueprint. Every religion, from the Nubians from modern day, is trying to tell you this. You are the son who forgotten his royalty. The power move of Abraham and Melchizedek. Let's look at the history that they don't teach us in Sunday school. Abraham wasn't just a man of faith. He was a general. He was a strategic. When he met Melchizedek, the king of Salem, he wasn't meeting a priest. Melchizedek is a timeless figure. No beginning, no end. He held the order of Melchizedek, which is direct management of the Akasha. Abraham sought out to gain power. He was a general learning the high level of spiritual mechanicism from the masters. This is where the stolen roots began. This is an interaction with a secure, a lineage that took universal solar wisdom and began to gatekeep it behind the Pacific bloodline. From the Hermetic teachings came the Kabbalah. These were stolen stories to try to make themselves the chosen people. And then we'll get more into that. Celestial meaning, Michael, Emmanuel. But those who manage these records at celestial levels, this was where Michael and Emmanuel come in. Michael is the protector, the one who guards the portal to the Kasha. He ensures that humans like Abraham are moving for power on earth. The original source code remains intact. Emmanuel, the active vibration of the Akasha made flesh, is the aroma centennial, high vibrational peak where the frequency of divine Emmanuel, the protection of truth, Michael meets, is the scent of the soul retaining to its original state. Astrological thread. Religion tells you that astrology is evil because astrology is the lineage of the Kasha, the 12 tribes of Israel, the 12 disciples. These are the 12 signs of the zodiac. From the Nubians to the Egyptians, they understood the birth chart is your ID card for the Akasha records. By turning the stars into saints, prophets, they took your powers, made you ask permission to seek your own soul's history. And a glossing to the return, the prodigal son didn't need a church or home. You just had to remember his father, his house, and you needed a general middleman to claim. And we'll get into these stories also. All right, before we get into the return of the sun, we have the defined players who manage this Kasha record, the little cause and effect of the blueprint of the reality. The Anunnaki, these are the down steps, architects. They understood the physical manipulation of records. They're the ones who treaded the soul to the 3D matrix. We talk about stolen roots. We're talking about the Anunnaki's influence over the original human templates. Though, Tahati, the scribe, he is the master of the emerald frequency. Though is the one who took the chaotic data of the Anunnaki era and organized it into a mastery school. He is the bridge between the stars and the Nile. Vishnu, the preserver. In the Hindu records, Vishnu is the source code, the guardian. He is the one that ensures no matter how much the generals like Abraham tried to mess with the timeline, the original soul spark is preserved for the next cycle. Hermes, or Trismegistus, the messenger. Hermes is the Greek rebrander of Thoth. He represents the casual law, as above, so below. He is the one who tells us that the records aren't out there. They are mirrored in their very DNA. Jesus, the Christo, the solar hero. He's the one who came to fulfill the law of the meaning. He came and take like all these fragments and records of the Anunnaki and Egyptians and Hindu and unified a single path to return of the prodigal son. As in when it says in the Bible, I called my son out of Egypt. Egypt, you are my first ambassador. There's a lot of references with Egypt in there. You got to pay attention to them. The casual records is why behind the what. They aren't just memories. They are energy debts and energy inherited. The Anunnaki tried to own your debt. Though and Hermes gave you the math to solve it. Vishnu kept your seat at the table. Jesus shows you how close to the ledger you're going home. This is the party that they hide, the part they hide. The prodigal son is the soul was born into Anunnaki, the system lost in the ways of the Egyptian mystery and forgotten Vishnu's origin. When Jesus tells the story of the son, he is talking about the solar hero memory, the son who didn't just come back to a house. He came back to his casual records. He realized that this father was the source, the 100% frequency of the general Abraham. Earthly kings were just middlemen trying to tax their inheritance. The Amora Centennial, the moment of realization and ascent of record opening is the frequency of Michael and Emmanuel standing guard to reclaim those level of wisdom that was always yours. Astrological truth. Every one of these figures, though Vishnu, Jesus, is an astrology frequency. The Anunnaki are the lower octane planetary influences that keep us grounded in fear. The Christo and the sun is the highest peak, and every religion is just a chapter in the same star map. If you do not know astrology, you cannot read the records. If you can't read the records, you can just a general soldier instead of a king's son. In a closing and takeover, we have done being with Abraham's children. We are returning to the order of Melchizedek. We are returning to Tho Vishnu's lineage. The records are open. The solar hero awakens. The prodigal son is the pigpen. Thank you for that. I'll have more on this. I'll have a part 2 on this. If you have any questions, please let me know.